It's 3 a.m. You're staring at the ceiling, and your brain is running 100 different simulations of a future that hasn't even happened yet. You are trying to figure out how to perfectly say the right thing tomorrow, how to prevent a relationship from failing, how to secure your finances for the next 10 years. You're obsessively trying to tie up every loose end in your life. We call this overthinking. We call it anxiety. But 2,500 years ago, the Buddha diagnosed this as something much more fundamental. He said you're suffering because you're trying to control an illusion. In Buddhism, there is a core truth of the universe called Anicca. It translates to impermanence. It is the absolute, undeniable law that absolutely nothing stays the same. Not your bank account, not your relationships, not your health, not even the cells in your body. But the modern world trains us to fight this law. We're taught that the goal of life is to build a fortress, secure the perfect job, lock down the perfect partner, buy a forever home, and build a wall so high that nothing can ever change. We are obsessed with permanence in a universe that refuses to stand still. And this is where your anxiety comes from. Overthinking is just your ego's desperate attempt to micromanage the future. When you lay awake at night, running scenarios, you're basically trying to negotiate with the universe. You're saying, if I can just think about this hard enough, I can prevent the world from changing. The Buddha taught that our suffering doesn't come from the fact that things change. The suffering comes from our resistance to that change. The tighter you grip the water, the faster it slips through your fingers. I know exactly how exhausting this is, because I spent years trying to micromanage someone else's life. I had someone very close to me who was going through a dark time. Because I loved them, I became terrified for their future. So I tried to write their script. I researched solutions. I gave them the perfect advice. I mapped out exactly what they needed to fix their life. I was losing sleep over problems that weren't even mine, and it completely suffocated the relationship. They ended up doing what they were going to do anyways, and I was left exhausted and resentful. I had to face the very brutal truth. You cannot control another person's path. Trying to manage someone else's karma isn't love. It's just your own anxiety, disguised as help. The moment I dropped the rope and just loved them as they were, the suffering stopped. The anxiety didn't protect me. It didn't change the outcome. All it did was rob me of the present moment. I was suffering the disaster before it even happened. There is a famous story from a Thai Buddhist master named Ajahn Chah. He would hold up a beautiful glass and say to his students, "To me, this glass is already broken." He explained, "I enjoy this glass. It holds my water beautifully. But I know that it's made of glass, and one day it'll fall off the table and shatter. Because I understand that the glass is already broken, every minute I have with it is precious. And when it finally does break, I'm not angry, because I knew its true nature." This is the ultimate Buddhist antidote to anxiety. It's not nihilism. It doesn't mean you shouldn't care about your job or your partner or your health. It is the exact opposite. When you accept Anicca, when you accept that your relationships, your success, and your very life are temporary, you stop trying to freeze them. You stop overthinking how to protect them from the future, and you finally become capable of enjoying them in the present. You cannot control the future. You cannot control what people think of you. You cannot control the economy, the algorithm, or the weather. The voice in your head will tell you that if you stop worrying, everything will fall apart. But the truth is, the world is going to do exactly what the world's going to do, whether you lose sleep or not. The ultimate freedom isn't building a wall high enough to keep out the unknown. The ultimate freedom is realizing you don't need a wall at all. Drop the rope, let the glass be broken, and finally get some sleep. Ajahn Chah said the glass is already broken. Next week, we're taking a field trip to a temple in the mountains of Thailand, built on that same truth. 5 million broken pieces, cemented into something sacred. For generations, villagers watched a glowing sphere rise from this cliff and drift across their sky. They thought it was a spirit. It was a beacon sent backwards through time from a Buddha who has not yet been born. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. We're walking this path together. Sigh.